Book Dude and Dude by Jeff Goodrich. At 49 years old, Jeff was too lazy and didn't want to do anything. He was overweight, and he constantly felt depressed and sick. It was even difficult for him to get out of bed every day. He was always in a bad mood. Why he often felt stressed. Mentally, he was completely depressed, and he had no hope for the future. Relationships in his personal life were also on the verge. The wife even planned to file for divorce. Jeff thought about it several times. To change your life, start going to the gym and pay more attention to your wife. He tried several times to take the first steps, but constantly retreated. The same thought was spinning in his head. I'm almost 50. It's too late for me to change. The whole point is that he didn't understand. Why does he need all this? Why does he need to lose weight? Why would he change anything at all? He raised children. They left home. And his career is coming to an end. He didn't achieve those goals, which I set before myself when I was young, and now he's just good for nothing. So why should he still put in the effort if he has no chance of changing for the better? Many men over 45 have such thoughts. When you're 20, you always have goals. Go to college, to get a good job. Go to work, to then find and provide your 7. Get a raise. Save up for a house, have children, and so on. And then you reach middle age. And all those desires that you had before, they just stop motivating you. And you think, why do I need all this now? At 50, looking back, he realized that he lived in accordance with that, how everyone else told him how to live correctly. So at some point, he realized that he needs to find his own why. Live and do that. What does he want? At this time, he got himself a dog of the surviving breed, which the dude called. He decided to do this because their children no longer lived with them, and he felt alone. The wife gave her consent, but only on condition that he will completely look after her. He chose this breed not by chance. Jeff had seizures as a child that no one could explain. And one day visiting friends, he saw a fold-eared dog, whose name was Mishka. From the moment he entered the house, she started following him everywhere, even when he locked himself in some room. She sat and waited for him to come out. It turned out that somehow, by changes in human odor, the dog could feel the seizures coming. And when Jamf was in the bathroom and had a seizure, the bear began to bark and scratch under the doors with its claws, because I understood that there's something wrong with him. Thereby, friends were able to get Jeff out of the bathroom and help him. At that moment, Jeff understood. What if he ever gets a dog, then only lop-eared, because she saved his life? In fact, there are several breeds of dogs that can smell seizures. They are even trained specifically for this. They are even called medical dogs. Breeders claim. What are these animals? Can sense the slightest change in the owner's scent, related for example, with hyper or hypoglycemia, and notify him and others about it. It could save his life, make a diabetic take insulin, or eat something sweet. Dogs can also be trained when they sense a seizure coming. Lie down in front of a person, so that, if he falls, he fell on the dog and didn't hurt himself. Everything didn't turn out so well as it could be described in a motivational book. That is, Jeff did not start playing sports on the first day and radically change your life. No, when he got a dog, he had to go for walks with her every day. Again and again, several times a day. It soon became a habit, which became part of his life. At these moments, he was talking to his dog, and is actually a great listener. It's a bit like going to a psychologist. Only questions you ask yourself, and you answer them yourself. That helped Jeff to get rid of negative thoughts about himself. He always took the dog out on a leash, but when I got there, where there were no people, he lowered it and looked how she frolics and rushes here and there. It was during his walks that he began to think about that I lived wrong, the job I wanted, home daily activities, TV, and so on in a circle. For 50 years, people in television inspired him what not to do. He realized that with every such suggestion, he put the leash on himself and kept himself from things that I really wanted to do. That's when he wanted to change something. Deal with that, what I really wanted, and gradually, one after another, he unfastened the leashes in his mind and told myself it was good. And now, can get on with it. Then on one of these walks, he tried to jog. He ran about 100 or 200 meters, until I'm out of breath, but it gave him pleasure. That's how it all started. He set himself one more goal. Okay, running is pretty cool. How far can I go with this? Thus walking turned into daily jogging. He kept telling himself, if I could run 500 meters, can I run a kilometer? The most impressive thing for him was when he ran 3 kilometers without stopping. He was very happy about it, that after so many years, he has achieved something again. After that, he started running half marathons, and finally decided to do marathons. After 6 marathons, he decided to run an ultramarathon, where you had to run 60 kilometers. And yes, this is at 55 years old. After that, he was fired up with new ideas. If I manage to do this, then maybe I can write a book. That's how work on this book began. If, at 49 years old, someone had told him that in 5 years he will run a marathon and write a book, he would answer, "Ha, ha, this can't be." Thus, daily walks with the dog and conversations with it radically changed his life. In fact, even in ancient Rome, they said, everything is decided on foot. Many philosophers, Nietzsche, Aristotle and others were called peripathetics, because they loved to just walk for a long time, discussing philosophy everywhere. Aristotle even lectured to students on the go. Pretty idea. Simple. When you move, it changes your thinking. The same thing happened to Jeff. Because he had to take the dog out every day for a walk, he himself became physically active, and this became the starting point to transform his thinking. His way of thinking was changing, and he began to think about things a little differently. He had a desire. Spend more time with your wife and children, and talk to them about various little things. And you should remember that some dogs are so energetic that require constant loads. Saw just one of these dogs. Thanks to her, Jeff began to go on long hikes, changed my diet and decided to go jogging. At the same time, he took his dog with him everywhere. Once they even climbed Kings Peak, highest peak in Utah. During this trip, they walked about 50 kilometers. This gave Jeff a purpose in life. He found the answer to his question, why does he need to change anything? First thing he did, it canceled my TV subscription. He used to watch sports and all sorts of nonsense every evening, and for him it was the norm. Just sit on the couch and watch TV. Now, he understands. Something has no value to him. Instead of TV, he started reading books and listening to podcasts. He began to think about other things. For example, about that. What does he eat every day? What is he thinking about? When should he go to bed? And when should he wake up? In fact, he was looking for ways to radically change your established life and starting to change your lifestyle. After a year, he lost about 70 kilograms. But at the same time, you cannot force yourself to be happy. That is, you can set a specific goal for yourself and tell yourself, I want to do this to be happy. But in reality, these actions, what you do on the way to your goal, don't make you happy. On the contrary, you become unhappy because he is too focused on the task. Thoughts are constantly running through your head. If they do the thing right, then I won't be happy. And in the end, it makes you unhappy. What do I want to say? If you think that by writing a book, it will make you happy, but you don't like the process of inventing the universe, writing dialogues, and so on, you won't be happy. It's not the goal itself that should captivate you, which you set for yourself, and all these actions, which you perform, reaching it. For example, let's take Jeff. He loved every day go for a walk with your dog. Thus, he himself was involved in physical activity. As stated, thanks to this, he lost 70 kilograms. And now he could look in the mirror. And he liked the guy whom he saw, although before the reflection repelled him. It gave him some peace of mind, which feels like happiness. The dog also saved Jeff's marriage. As already said, the wife was about to file for divorce. But after that, how the author began to think differently. He began to regret it. How he treated his wife while walking the dog. He constantly talked to her. Asked questions like, what should I do? Or what should I do so that our relationship with my wife becomes better? He thought about it a lot, and then shared his thoughts with his wife. That's not what repelled her before. That he was not a millionaire, or he didn't have abs. She was repulsed by his helplessness. lack of goals and constant self-pity. He had no ambitions or aspirations. And the dog helped him with this. After a while, wife began to notice changes in Jeff, in the way he talked to her about it. What did he do every day, or what feelings he had about what his dreams are and what he wants to achieve. She saw that Jeff again, which she liked. And at some point, she decided not to divorce him. It also helped the relationship with the children. He began to ask himself the following questions. Did I teach them everything, what they needed to know? Was I a good example for them? All these questions haunted him. That's why, when he decided to reconnect with his wife, he wanted to work at the same time, and relationships with children. Most of all he wanted, so that his children will remember him by his actions, which he committed. So that motivated him to completely change your life, get off the couch and start running. He hoped it would inspire his children. And it worked. One of his daughters, I also started running thanks to him, and also participated in several marathons. He was very flattered that thanks to him, she also started trying to do something in her life. Thus, he's glad that he left behind such a legacy and was not remembered. To your children and grandchildren, like an old man sitting in front of the TV every day. Usually when something stressful happens, or you start to worry about something, your old habits may return. And you will again want to return to your comfort zone. You have to fight it and keep working. This is a daily challenge for you. A challenge is what should make you move forward. That's why Jeff goes for a run every day. Because it's a challenge, and he likes to overcome it. Thus, even at 55 you can study, grow and change. And there is no such point when you can stop and say everything. I achieved everything I wanted. Life is an endless journey. This is where the book comes to an end. Subscribe to the channel, like and click on the bell. And leave your opinion about this book in the comments. Bye.